I'm Kathryn Johnson with the Richmond Hill Bryan County Chamber of Commerce, and today we're going to go over the difference between critical and non-critical businesses and whether or not you can still be open even under Governor Kemp's shelter in place. So stay tuned and we'll go through it together. Okay, so we'll start off by showing you where to find the shelter in place overview on our website. So if you click on the COVID-19 resource page and go to the shelter in place explanation here at the bottom, click on that. Okay, so once you click on that link, it's going to bring you to this document. The Georgia Chamber of Commerce was awesome and combined the order with an overview all into one document that you can go through and read. I'm going to go through and highlight just a few things. We're going to scroll down. This is the official order. This was the original one that was through, I believe, April 13th, which has now been extended, but the different requirements have stayed the same. So I'm going to scroll down to the shelter in place executive order and kind of go through this with you. So what businesses and professionals must cease in-person operations. So there's several different parts to this. There's some businesses that have to cease and close all operations to the public at this time. There's critical entities and then there's non-critical entities. And we'll go through each one. So bars, nightclubs, gyms, fitness centers, bowling alleys, theaters, live performance venues, operators of amusement parks, dine-in services at restaurants and private social clubs must close. Estheticians, hair designers, body art studios, beauty shops and salons, barbershops, cosmetology schools, etc. So those have to cease operations. Now, you can see on there that there's an exception for the dine-in services if they are able to do takeout, curbside, pickup, delivery, and dine-in services at hospitals, healthcare facilities, nursing homes, and other long-term care facilities are allowed to stay open. So all other entities may continue to operate subject to specific restrictions. And those restrictions are going to vary depending on whether or not you're critical or non-critical. But please read that and understand that you can still operate. We've had a lot of people question whether or not they can be open, and so that's why we wanted to bring this information to you. So what is critical infrastructure? And can you stay open? So for critical entities, your business or organization will continue in-person operations. The state still encourages implementation of the 16 requirements, which we'll see a little bit later. And then there's non-critical infrastructure. They are asking that you still follow the social distancing rule and only engage in minimum basic operations and meet another 20 requirements. So what this is saying is that you still can operate, you can still be open as long as you follow these requirements. So let's scroll down. So critical infrastructure. This is a business or establishment that's defined by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security as essentially critical infrastructure. So this is where you're hearing the essential versus non-essential. If you're considered a critical infrastructure, you are that essential business. The operation of those critical infrastructures should not be impeded on by county, municipal, or local ordinances. And you do need to follow these 16 requirements. So I will let you click on this link on our website and read through this, but just go through and make sure if you are a critical or essential business, you are following those 16 guidelines. And then I'm going to scroll through this and go to the non-essential and go over those really quickly with you. Again, this is on our website, so if you want to read through all of this on your own time, you are more than welcome to. You can download it as a PDF and save it. But a non-critical infrastructure shall comply with the social distancing rule, meet the definition of minimum basic operations, and comply with 20 requirements to continue to operate under Governor Kemp's executive order. Again, as long as you comply with these orders or these requirements, you are allowed to continue to operate. So social distancing rule, no business establishment, for-profit or non-profit, corporation, organization, or county or municipal government is allowed to have more than 10 people gathering in a single location unless there is at least 6 feet between each person at all times. The minimum basic operations are limited to the minimum necessary activities to maintain the value of a business, establishment, corporation, nonprofit corp, or organization, provide services, manage inventory, ensure security, process payroll and employee benefits, or for related functions. Such minimum necessary activities include remaining open to the public subject to the restrictions of this order. The minimum necessary activities to facilitate employees or volunteers being able to work remotely from their residence or members or patrons being able to participate remotely from their residences. Instances where employees are working outdoors without regular contact with other persons, such as delivery services, contractors, landscape businesses, and agricultural industry services. And then you can also see the 20 requirements that you would need to follow here. So again, this is saying that as long as you followed these 3 things, you were still allowed to operate and be open. Um, there's some commonly asked questions as well. You do not need a letter from your employer or the government to prove that you fall into one of these exceptions. If you violate this, please note that this is a misdemeanor, which is a crime in the state of Georgia. But again, if you're following these requirements, you should be within the law. You can still go to state parks. Again, this is not stating a difference between essential and non-essential. This is stating if you are critical or not a non-critical business, you can still be open. We're just going to have to be creative in how we do business. So if you have any other questions or would like some additional updates on this, please let us know. I highly, highly, highly recommend if you have questions on whether or not you truly can be open to please contact the city or county that you're located within. And that way they can give you some more guidance. Thank you so much for hanging in there. I know that was a long video, but I do think it was great information, and I hope you think so as well. I do want to share that in no way am I or the Chamber of Commerce telling you whether or not you should or should not open, but we do want to bring you factual information and resources so that you can make an educated decision. So again, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at the Chamber. Our phone number is 912-756-3444, and our email address is info@rhbcchamber.org. Thank you so much, and we hope you find these videos helpful. If there's a topic you would like to hear about, let us know.